The idea that XXXY as a concept is offensive. Um, this is, I don't know who makes the decisions and stuff, but like the idea that you can't talk about the fact that there are men and women and that's too offensive. I don't know what to do with this because it is so insane.
Yeah.
I'm really at a loss. It's like, again, I talk often about the things that I believe our society can handle. I think that our society can handle having trans people walk around dressed in as if they are, as if men are women and women are men. And I think that most polite people would be able to deal with using whatever pronouns they prefer, just so long as they're not obnoxious about it. But the idea that you can't say, hey, it's like trans people can live their lives how they want, but trans women are men and trans men are women. Like the idea that you can't say that without being, attacked, be told that you're saying something offensive is ridiculous because that is just factually, biologically true. You think, as I do, that there is actual concerted efforts by a subversive ideology to basically tear down the fundamental structures of our government. The LGBT stuff is the tip of the spear. And it really is motivated by an ideologically by ideology that is on par with any other religion. You can listen to trans people talk about saying things like trans people are divine. Trans people are to be held up as the epitome of what a human being could be. They have transcended not just male and female, but they have transcended being a normal human. It is completely and totally the more extreme you get is entirely wrapped in mysticism and occultism. If you remember when Target was getting a lot of heat for the LGBT stuff that they had, one of the artists, now I don't know if these shirts were actually the shirts in Target, but the artist that had drawn the shirts had done a whole line of pro-LGBT stuff that was all mixed in with occult stuff that was saying that transitioning is alchemy and all kinds of again, all kinds of occult imagery, satanic imagery and stuff. And again, I'm a dude, like, listen, man, I grew up listening to Cannibal Corpse, right? Tomb of the Mutilated is one of my favorite records, okay? I am totally fine with this kind of imagery. But the fact is these people don't think of it as imagery like a horror movie, which is what I looked at that stuff. Like I grew up watching slasher films when I was a kid, and I wanted to see Nightmare on Elm Street, and all that stuff was cool to me, and that was part of me being into gory death metal and stuff. This is not about that. This is actually occultism where people are mutilating their bodies. The ultimate part, the ultimate expression of this ideology is to transition. They're going to cut their bodies up. And this needs to be pushed back on. We certainly cannot have a government that is flying the flag of the trans flag. We cannot have a government that is pushing an ideology that at its extremes is telling people to mutilate their bodies. You cannot become a female. You cannot become a male. You can change your body. And if you want to as an adult, I'm like, okay, fine. But you can't have this stuff fed to children because it is literally warping their minds and making vulnerable children destroy their bodies. The Tavistock stuff that was going on in the UK, I think it was called the Tavistock Clinic, they shut it down because of this. If you look at the cutting edge reports coming out of Europe right now, all of these European countries are pulling back on this and stopping it because they're starting to realize that these people need help, and help is not affirming their mental illness.